Hi everyone. Hopefully quite a simple, straightforward fix to do today. So a friend of mine has given me his games controller. It feels that one of the buttons is a bit spongy. Hopefully it's not a mechanical issue. That might mean it's new parts required, etc. It may just be a bit dirty. So going to take it apart, give it a clean, and see where we get to. Also, I'm going to take the opportunity this week to have a test as something that um, I'm trying to build. I'm not quite sure why, but I've become addicted by EDC videos. So I've built an electronics repair EDC, so an everyday carry little pack. It's got all the tools in there that I think I need. So I'm going to attempt repairing the games controller with just this EDC pack. And then that'll help me work out, have I got the right tools in here? Have I got too many? What else do I need to do? There's a few other bits that I've got on order that need to come, like a small torch. Can't remember the other, a little magnet, which I think would be quite useful. Can't remember much else. So anyway, let's give it a go. So games controller, PS5, pretty sort of standard thing that can get broken. They get a lot of use. They have a lot of violence. Kids will have console rage and chuck them across the room and all that sort of stuff. And also because they're in your hands all the time, they're left lying out on the side. They're quite prone to getting sort of dust and dirt in them as well. So let's have a look, see what's going on. Not quite sure what's with the blue tape underneath. Maybe that's just an identifier to help them realise which one is controller 1, controller 2, etc. So I'm going to first connect it to my laptop and I'll show you why. If I just flip across to my browser so you can see, excuse me. So there are many different websites where you can test your controllers. So I always use this one, and it gives you an opportunity to, let's see if it connects. Come on. There we go. Okay, is that still recording? Let me check. Right, there we go. So, as you can see, I'm just trying the joysticks, different buttons on here. So you can see it all seems to be responding well. Quite a typical issue with games controllers is stick drift. What you might see is one of these buttons kind of always going off to one side or kind of like vibrates like that. I'm simulating it by doing it myself. But if you're not holding it, it may be sort of doing that sort of thing or flicking between two different positions. So they're quite common issues, but this just allows me to test all the buttons, make sure that they're working. See, that one was a little bit, it's sluggish to respond. So I think that's the share button. It works, but you do have to give it quite a forceful press. So everything works, all looking good. So let's take it apart. Let's do a closer up. Let's take it apart and see what we can do. That's probably a bit too close, isn't it? Okay, 2 seconds. There we go. That's too far away. Maybe I need to build another view. So I'll keep it on the close up. Not done a PS5 controller for a little bit. But what we need to do is take off these plastic bits there. Hang on. Is it those bits first? Just trying to think. Last thing I've got to do is break my friend's controller. So immediately looking in my EDC, I'll bring that to one side. Bring that. Where's that going? Bring that there. Can we get both in at the same time? Let me see if I can crop this camera a bit further out. If I switch the close-up camera, can I put it off to one side wherever I put it? Here we go. as ever, my desk is a mess and I can't get to anything. One of these days I'll build a proper um, electronics workshop somewhere. We had a quote to the seller, but to be quite honest, that probably knocks off a year or two off my retirement plan. So if I get the seller done, that means I have to work for a bit longer. I'm not sure I'm that keen on doing the seller. Right, okay, so I think we can see everything. So looking through the kit, I've got some spudges in here, but because we're opening plastic on the controller, I don't particularly want to use a metal spudger. Um, I only have 3 plastic spudgers, so I'm going to pinch that one. Let's put the EDC to one side. Let's go top down again. And then hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So yeah, plastic spudgers, I mean, they do break, and they do sort of lose their rigidity over time, but also they are very, very good at not damaging plastics when you are taking them apart. So very useful tool. Always good to have some plastic pry bars and also some, I use wood as well sometimes. So you just, non-conductive tools are quite useful. I've got a set of ceramic screwdrivers somewhere. Use those to adjust an RF frequency modulator so that I can tune in a vintage games console. Right, okay. So this is quite cool. Little screwdriver. So what was it? Designed by Hoto. Got it off Amazon. It's probably 10-15 quid. Got all the bits inside it. They're all small bits, but when you're doing electronics, it tends to be small bits that you need anyway. So the bits are all stored in there. I did get one off AliExpress. It was a little bit cheaper, but just look at the size difference. So I prefer this one for my everyday carry because of the fact that you want to keep the carry as light as possible. I think there are some screws underneath these as well. And these are a bit fiddly to get off. Yeah, I can feel the spudger actually bending. Yeah, there we go. There's another screw in there. That's a bit easier. So maybe in future, come in from that angle and pry it up. Right, there are 2 catches here. No catches anywhere else. I've not done one of these for a while, but I have to say these are easier to work on than Xbox controllers. They are a right path. So from an aesthetic point of view, clips are nice because it means you don't have horrible screw holes on show on all your electronics, but equally it does make it so much more difficult to open up and repair. There we go. I think that clip actually broke a little bit. I think there have been many things that have inspired me to do repairs. Controllers definitely one of them. My son addicted to his console, so always repairing things for him. I've got a Switch, some Switch console controllers. They've got, I think he said they've got stick drift, so I've got the replacements for them. Stick drift, you can clean out the joysticks that are inside. I've done that and it does work. But it's always worth having the spares because the last thing you want to do is take something apart, clean it, find out the cleaning didn't actually work, and then you have to you sort of put it back together, wait for the parts to arrive, etc., etc. So always worth having some spare parts on hand. Right, so always be really, really careful with these ribbon cables. So easy to tear, and if you tear a ribbon cable, oh, it's a nightmare to put together. Fixing these like little small plastic ribbon cables probably on the edge of my skill set and comfort zone. Um, they're plastic, very very thin, very fine. I have done it before, but I would rather be cautious and not have to do it. You see, some TikToks and videos on YouTube where people just seem to whiz through repairing cables, and I just don't know how to do it. I guess if you do it quite often, you get better. As with everything in life, practice improves your skill. But I do general repairs mostly for friends or at repair cafe, and so it's not something I come across often. Right, so we're nearly there. To get the board out, because you need to get the board out to be able to get to the buttons at the front. Can I take the whole unit out without... Let's see if we can get the unit out without having to take the board off, because I'd rather not take the board off. I have got a small USB soldering iron in my kit, and got a small battery pack that does 45 watts, so is it 45 or 65? But it takes a little bit longer to charge than, not charge, sorry, heat up than my desktop soldering iron that's plugged into the mains, but immensely useful to be able to have something to take around with you to do small soldering repairs. Yeah. Now this ribbon cable it's detached, but it's kind of like a T shape at the end, and it's like a hook, and it holds onto it. So right, what have we got? A little bit of dust on the speaker. It's interesting. Is that all like that? Oh no, no, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. So, right, let's have a look. I'm just reminding myself how these things work. So I'll take these off. And let me just show you the joysticks. So ultimately the joysticks are just a pair of potentiometers either side. They have sort of copper and carbon tracks, so when you move the actual stick, it just changes the resistivity, which changes the signal, etc., etc., which gets interpreted into motion. Because they've got carbon pieces in there, over time it sort of degrades, picks up dust, and becomes dirty. So you can flip these down at the front. I won't do this now because they don't need it. You can flip these down and flood it with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, IPA. Clean them with a cotton bud. Make sure they are spotless. Maybe put some contact cleaner in there as well. Because contact cleaner doesn't just clean, it also gives a small bit of lubrication. Then reassemble and test. You can test these as they are. You don't have to fully reassemble. You would if you were testing buttons. Right, let me just put that to one side. So what we have here, these buttons, again, they're rubber with sort of carbon pads underneath. So if you take those off, I think what I'm going to do is I'll just take all the plastic bits apart and I'll go and give this a good wash, just in some washing up liquid, dish soap. Right, okay, I can see why this might be a bit spongy, and it's just dirt. So let's see if I can get you a close up. Okay, so that's the offending button. Let me just lift it out, and you can see in there. So there may have been some sort of spillage. Tea, cola, who knows? So yeah, I'll go and give that a clean. There was also these buttons up here. Which one was it? I think it was this one. That's spotless. That's spotless. So let's have a look at the actual controller itself. Where does it connect to? Is it there? Right, okay. Let's see on this side. Okay, so let me switch cameras back because I need to put this down. So I think I will have to disassemble this a little bit more because I wasn't really happy with the testing, how that button was reacting. It clicks nicely. I don't want to take it apart if I don't have to. Let's see. Can I lift this up to see what type's underneath? No. Okay. Can I get to this top down? Yeah, there we go. Right. There won't be an awful lot I can do about that button. It's only the share button, and I think the social media thing that can capture bits off your game. 2 seconds. Let me switch cameras again, just so you can see the button. So these buttons, there's not an awful lot to them. They're just a piece of metal bent into a dome that when you press, it makes contact. You can replace them. It can be a real difficult job replacing these. You think they'd be quite straightforward, but the solder points are tiny, and they're straight onto these plastic bases. So I have done them before, but I've also, I've ruined loads whilst trying to do it. I think what I'll do is I'll just give it, I'll flood it with a little bit of IPA, do a few presses, maybe that'll squeeze out whatever's in there, and hopefully that will sort it out. I don't want to have to take this off altogether, so we'll see. Right, I'm going to take all the bits, go and give them a good scrub, then reassemble it and see how we get on. So I'll see you again shortly. Right, I'm back. All the parts have been washed. I washed them in the sink with some washing up liquid, hot water. That's all, nothing special. But I do them in do things that I repair in this basket if I can. It's a very large sieve, and it just means these small tiny parts I'm not going to lose. So I'm just going to take them all out. Now it's just going to be a case of reassembling the controller and giving it a test. Right, there we go. So that's definitely more responsive. So let's plug it in and switch to the tester. Right, here we go. All working, all working. So the button that was a bit spongy before, all nice and responsive. The share buttons were. So, well, actually, that's not good. Trigger button's not working. Oh no, hang on, I've got a pop up, that's why. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the share button's not great. Don't know if you can hear it. Listen, it's like a half-second lag between it doing something. I wouldn't mess about with it too much because I don't think it's that important for games. I'll check in with my friend, see if he's happy. And that's it. So let's just switch back. The one thing that can be a bit annoying when you're doing console, controllers, when you're testing them, when you're pressing all the buttons, sometimes you get pop-ups on your laptop, on your MacBook, because of it's interpreting it as a command to the MacBook itself. So controller fixed, EDC tested, and I think I only needed the plastic spudger to be added to my EDC. So I'll get that updated. I'll do a few more trials of my EDC, and then maybe I'll do a video of everything that I keep in here. Not everything's for electronics repairs. Some of it is sort of general repairs as well. So, you know, I've got some sort of large pliers, pry bar in there, which was way bigger than I expected it to be. But you know, sometimes you get large appliances that you do need. You do need that level of tool to be able to open and things like that. So, right, happy with that. Plastic spudger. Now to go into my EDC. Get this all tidied up nicely. Nice little gift from my daughter. She was making these at school yesterday, so I've kept it. Nice little length of paracord if I ever need to sort of a length of cord to disassemble and use for something. Who knows? Screwdriver. So let's put the bit away so we don't lose it. A little bit of a struggle, but I'm also trying not to stab myself with some of the other tools that are in here. Pop that in. Pop that in there. Right, done. So a few more bits arrive tomorrow, and I think I'm good. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you again soon.